30% boxer, pit bull, cattle dog, husky, Pyrenees.
I love it. What'd you say? Go back a couple.
Mostly boxer, but then pit bull, cattle dog, husky, Pyrenees. Probably, I mean, it's just a super mutt. She's Evie's housemate. We trained Evie last year.
Okay.
She's reactive, especially with the fence in her backyard.
Oh no.
They actually grabbed her while she was reacting and she turned around and nabbed a hand.
Oh, that's good information. Yeah. I can kind of see that she's a little nervous.
She's already been on an e-collar.
Okay.
On a mini, they have to get up to 50 sometimes, which honestly is not that much, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Her fur, look at it. She's got that fluffiness, so it can...
She knows her stuff, but has trouble listening. She's been through a board and train program, Ridgeside, which is like a franchise all around the country.
Ridgeside?
He said they did an okay job, but nothing like he did with Evie.
So she probably knows everything.
She knows everything.
Because Ridgeside's pretty good for here.
Yeah.
So...
we'd like to get her on the same level as Evie. She has separation anxiety, doesn't like being in her crate alone. Having Evie in a crate next to her helps.
What'd you say her name was one more time?
Juno.
Juno. Okay, Juno.
They have used e-collar stim to try to stop bad behaviors.
What you been up to? What is it?
They have fought a few times, her and Evie, but it's always been Evie the one that's starting it, guarding food, guarding stuff.
It's okay.
Okay, so when somebody comes in the house, she barks and her hair is raised, but she acts excited and jumps, but her bark scares people. Pulls, pushing forward, constant reminders to stay and heal. She loves the vet, surprisingly unfazed by her shots, but I'm sure they're giving her treats. No resource guarding behavior with Evie or the owners.
She's
Goals.
really nervy.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm moving around like this.
She's on fluoxetine. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's an anxiety med. But basically, they just want to get her on the same level as Evie. I don't think people realize what a trained dog feels like sometimes until they have one, especially if they've tried another program.
What are you today?
Tons of barking from her owner's car, like before we got her out. Tons of barking.
So, she barks a lot.
Yeah.
You can tell. And when you tell her to stop barking and she doesn't bark anymore, there's going to be a big hole in her life.
Yeah, she doesn't have that coping skill anymore.
It's probably it's probably her go-to. So when we tell her to not do that anymore, oftentimes a dog who barks too much like that is usually a dog who's overreacting. A dog who's overreacting often is usually a dog who's anxious. And that anxiety usually comes from them trying to lead when they should be following. It's just how it always goes. So we got a dog who's probably pretty insecure at
everything
leading,
and masking it with barking.
but she's going to find confidence. What we're going to see, so we're going to see really a lot of anxiety once we say, hey, don't bark. Hey, don't react to that. You're going to just see her, it's just anxiety, right? So we'll build confidence up in following. And then we'll see that side of her. Because, look, she wanders around at will. She obviously, in her mind, is very high status in her pack. Maybe she's even leader in her pack.
Yeah, I mean, if she's feeling entitled to turn around and nip somebody who's grabbing her.
Exactly. So, I mean, she's just also in that very primal state in that moment, though. And that's another thing is like, her temperament, how close is she to that primal space? Is it just a hair trigger away? Some dogs, it takes quite a bit to get them to go and to drive like that. Other dogs, it's just always right there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to know her a lot. And so that a dog where it's always right there, yeah, they generally, once they're in that mind, if you just like touch them like this, ding, you can get there. Just out of them being in that state, it's just really right. Nothing personal. Anyhow, I'm going to take her out of that space, though. I'm going to tell her in her brain that there's no need to go into that space, and I need you to, in this particular space, which is a follower, I need you calm, compliant to me, connected to me and my leadership, and we'll go from there, right? The problem will be her saying, no, I've got my own pack and I run that stuff, right? Anyway, Juno. Juno wants to go through here, so she's gonna make a mistake. Oh, honey, girl, easy does it. That's a good girl. This is the best way for an anxious dog. They have something on their mind, let them get it off their mind by trying. Good, now look, anxiety is gonna go down, right? That's her trying to figure out what are we doing, where are we going? She's trying to decide. Now she's thinking, what does this guy want me to do? Look, and then that's when I pat. Good girl.
Hi, beautiful. You're such a good girl. How are you today? What a nice dog. Yes, she is.
So when she first seen me, she barked and got defensive. When Julie brought her in, she didn't see any of that. So I had the opportunity to enter the relationship through her seeing me as a stranger. And going from actually stranger danger to possibly pack member, possibly leader within minutes. Isn't that crazy? So good. Long ways to go for me to be the leader though. There's a lot of conversations her and I have to have before she accepts me. Rituals, if you will. We go through them. And every one she's going to start to see me as leader. And really, as soon as she has the mind change and she says, this guy's the guy who I want to listen to, that's the missing link. That's what's going to make her feel like her best version. That's when she's a follower. But they do not give that for free, and they will challenge you in order for them to maintain that position in the pack. She's not meant to have that position. That's where her stress is coming from. Good girl. Yeah. All right, so she's nervy, and so you see me I'm doing weird stuff and things that you probably shouldn't be doing because I'm trying to get her out of her shell and make her feel like she's being silly about being insecure, right? Because like at first I spook her, right? By moving, and then she sees I'm just doing the YMCA, right? And then I say, good girl, and then she's like, all right, there's no need to be spooked. It kind of makes her feel like it's not necessary. Good. And then and then here's like, don't do this stuff, like reach in like that, like I am, but good. I'm letting her know that I am interested in a relationship with her as far as leader-follower goes. So I want her part of my pack. I'm not here to say it's my pack versus yours. I want to become a pack, but I want to lead. So our dynamic is going to be me leader, her follower, and I'm telling her that's what I want. And I want you to be part of my pack, but I want to be leader. So that's why I'm talking to her this way. That's how I'm describing. I'm also describing to her that I'm safe. But I'm also saying that I will correct if you go against my authority, right? So, because that's what a leader does, because I'm looking out for her. I want to keep her life going in the right direction. So she has to listen to me. Good. So she could just try to run away and go find another pack, which she probably will try to do. And then I will correct her and recall her, and we'll just keep going. What happens is they start to see me as a pack member, then they start to see me as leader, and then they enjoy it. So they're like, this is a good pack, this is a good lifestyle, and I get to be the first human to show them how they should be treating humans. I'm the role model. This is how you listen to humans. This is what humans want. It's very basic. We just want you to do if we tell you to do something, which is always going to be basic and fair, like go over here and lay down for a minute because I need to take care of something, or come here because I need you out of that situation, or walk nicely. Very simple stuff. Do that when we tell you to, and stop the stuff I tell you to stop doing. That's all I'm asking. That's it. And I promise you that I will use it responsibly. Your end is that you have to listen, but they're not going to listen for free, and it's not because they don't like you, and it's not because you're not worthy, and blah, blah, blah. It's not because anything like that. It's just because they're designed to literally challenge each other so that the proper leaders rise, okay? That's it. They're going to challenge each other so that they figure it out. They're going to challenge us the same way. And most of the time it just looks like not listening. And then when we go a little bit further, we say, well, today's the day. Today you're going to listen. And then all of a sudden our dog becomes, their worst version. And they're like, even some dogs might even try to bite you, right? So, throw a temper tantrum. That's, the thing is, if you quit there, we won't get what we're looking for. They're gonna throw a temper tantrum. They all do. Go ahead, throw it. And I'm still here when you're done to continue with our day, because we've got a lot of hours in the day and that just took up 30 seconds. So let's go, right? So she will become a follower. That's what she's not. She's not a follower within the pack. She thinks she's high position. She thinks she's even leader. So when you come in and try to tell her what to do, you're just a nuisance. You're not relevant enough where, imagine if you're getting pulled over, we use that analogy all the time, and the cop comes to your window, you usually use respect to that person, right? And maybe you're even a little nervous because you might get a ticket. You have respect, you say, I don't want to disrespect this person further. I doubt she's seeing you like that when you say don't do something or do something. She doesn't have that amount of respect. So that is lacking, okay? Trust is there with you, but she's also an insecure dog about the world around her, I can already tell that. So she needs to respect you more. Good girl. Good girl. See how she's looking at me? That's very nice. Good girl. She's got a little stranger danger. I'm touching her in ways that I would not be if I wasn't interested in having a part of the pack. Because I'm seeing where her tolerance is with me. Good. They'll shut that stuff down, even with another dog. If another dog tries to come around and sniff back here and she's not interested in having that type of bond with that dog, they'll shut it down by correcting. So I could get corrected here, right? But if she corrects me, I'm going to correct her back because I'm not going to stand for that either. And at the end of the day, she's going to see me as the one who's going to provide and protect her as leader. So she won't need to be correcting other dogs, so I'm going to do all that. And she definitely can't be correcting me for just doing this, okay? Because if she's going to correct me for just doing something she doesn't want in that moment like that so easily, the rest of our life is going to be challenging, okay? So, good. That's good. Good stuff. I'm seeing good stuff from you. Good. Girl. We really broke through there. Our relationship was rocky when I first came down the stairs. She immediately see me as stranger danger. So, having to go through that. Good. Now what's going to help me is adding a dog. She needs to see that I can control all the dogs. Okay? Is Reagan's okay?
Yep. Rig.
So now I have to control this pack. I'm going to put another dog in the situation. And if she sees me control her and the other dog, it's just more brownie points for me being the guy around here to listen to. Alright, so everything I do is making sure my dynamic with her in our relationship is me leader, her follower. Leader also means she can trust me in that she's safe around me too. So I have to be able to correct her or punish her, but she also feels safe around me. Kind of like a parent would. Really, it's a lot like that, right? So she's going to know that she's very safe around me, but also I won't put up with nonsense. That's that balance. That's what parenting is. And so naturally we have it in us to know, have the judgment, right? And so does she. I'm going to let a dog down here. If she tries to determine how our pack is going to deal with it, I'm going to correct her. And then I'm going to greet the dog first. This will go with everything in her life moving forward. Things that she wants in the environment, she has to let me have first access to because I'm leading. Rig. See what happens here. So this is a no. Come here, Juno. That's a recall. Good. 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 Rig.
Go.
Riggy. Hi, buddy. And I'm having him stand right there. Good girl. Okay, so the first time he comes down, she runs right up to him. I correct her, I recall her, I put her back over here. Good girl. I'm not telling her to stay yet. I'm just using that recall to get her away from the situation. Now I'm going over to the resource, which right now it's dog. It could be a squirrel, it could be a toy, food, people. It's just a thing that we want or need, the leader gets first access to. So if the follower goes up to it first without looking to permission, that is the problem. That's what she started to realize. This is what's missing at home, okay? Watch. I'm gonna go up on it. If she follows me, I'm gonna tell her no. Because I'm claiming that position in the pack. Good boy. I'm just taking his fur. You're a good boy, buddy. taken his fur to get his scent, to bring it back to her so she can learn, oh, you don't have to smell things directly. Unless I tell you to go up on them, you can just smell them on me when I come back, okay? I'm the guy that's gonna go out and deal with the outside world. And it starts with this little conversation here, showing her this in this situation. She's getting his scent, look at that. She's really into it, off from me. So she just seen me mediate. She just seen me control her. She just seen me control him. Okay, that makes her look at me different, right? Once I have that position, life becomes easier. Great. Riggs is immediately going in. She's actually being quite social. That looks good. She's lifting a leg. She's confident, but she's being social. She's not being a pushover, but she's allowing him to sniff. He is letting her sniff now. Wow, that's actually surprising. He's taking it away though. He's saying, listen, I'm the dominant one. See, look, she wants to sniff, he moves, he corrects her with body language. She's charming him now. Look, yeah, she's got some skills on her socially. He's not into it. He's trying to do some calming signals, and he's out. He's not interested in a relationship that he's not dominant. Okay? So what he has to do to her next, it would be mount her, which he's not allowed to, and he knows it, so that's why he walks away. Or some type of dominant display where he overcomes that little challenge they have each other. They have unfinished business. Oops, sorry. She's being dominant, but she's being social as well. Same as him. They're kind of actually doing the exact same thing to each other, which is not letting the other one dominate fully. They're holding positions. They're probably pretty similar positions in the pack, in a real pack anyway. They're probably middle dogs, so they, you know what I mean? And neither of them are going to be at the top of the pack, more than likely. Good. Good. All right, I like that. I'm gonna try a recall here though. Juno, can you come here? I love that. I love that. Good. So she came to me a little reluctantly, but I did not correct, so it's all good. She's probably not used to being held accountable so closely. So I'm really on her, so it's like she drives one way, which is probably really crazy, going over the speed limit, radio loud, having a good time, and now she's starting to drive like there's a state trooper right behind her, right? Now there's a state trooper in the room, right? So that feeling of authority is starting to have its effect. But it also, the thing about it though, as long as I'm a fair leader, which I am, there's comfort in that. It's actually, I'm here to keep everything. It's not that I'm just here to correct you. I'm actually here to make things civil and to make life better for everybody. And your actions are actually going to make it more dangerous to live with you. While you're doing these actions, everyone else's safety is a little bit in jeopardy. And their sanity, because that whining and barking is just, you can't do that for humans are not into that stuff. All right, we don't like that. And these are the messages I'm telling you. I'm being honest with them. I'm saying humans don't like barking. I'm trying to help you be successful out there. All right, they don't like that stuff. Okay, unless it's super appropriate. All right, you gotta use your brain a little bit. You can't just react to everything. You can't. You know, it drives people insane. So this is good. So I feel like this dog, you know, she's going to build confidence in being a follower, and she's going to learn that that's a way better life for her. She's going to enjoy it more, I think. A lot of her life is probably pretty stressed, just because she thinks she's leading, you know? Good. So how long they had her for? Jules?
It's been like 2 years.
Okay, and she's 3, okay. Cool. This is a good girl.
Yes, I know. I see you in there. You're a nice young lady. I see that. Yes, I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're a good girl. Our bond is going to go deep now because we went through challenging situations together. So our relationship started kind of rocky. We went through some challenges together. You know, and at the end, I'm petting her, and we're saying, you know, we're friendly with each other, and all of a sudden the bond is stronger because we went through some real life stuff together, right? So I find that usually the relationship will build quicker as long as the person has good intentions and actually has the ability to lead the dogs, this is what they do. They end up following you because they're totally okay once you earn it with following a human. They find it, they'll follow a dog, they'll follow a human as well once they see you that way. Okay, there is maintenance. A dog will challenge you from time to time, and you have to say no. We're not doing that. Put them back in their place on the hierarchy. Good, because that's what it all comes down to with her. It's just her not wanting to be listening to you under your authority. She's smart. She recalls. Let's see where else everything is. She went through training. Stay. Let's see where that stay is. That's some basic stuff, but doesn't mean it's basic to understand. Doesn't mean it's easy for the dog. Stay is actually very hard. It's easy for them to understand, but it's hard for them to comply because they want to check everything out. But look, she almost made a mistake at least 2 times there if you were watching. She stopped herself. This is a dog, she's been through training, so I know she knows, I can tell. But I can tell she's flimsy. So I see why she's here, because if I animate this environment just a little bit, she's going to be falling apart. She's not going to be listening to me. Even though she knows what I'm saying to her. So animate the environment, meaning like I just have a person walk in. Something happens. Right now it's pretty, there's nothing going on. She's still struggling to stay there. She's still struggling to stay there. Stay. 3 years old, fully educated on the train. Pretty good. Good girl, pretty good. Pretty good. I'm telling you right now, it's the anxiety and it's the stress that she carries with her that's causing her to act a fool and to not listen and to overreact to everything. All right? But that stress is coming because she's trying to make all the decisions. Once we say no, it's not just no to your bad behaviors, it's no to you leading. Just chill. Do what I tell you to do, and that's it. And if I'm not telling you to do something, do what he's doing. Just wait. And that's what she'll learn over the next few days. This panting right here, it's not hot. That is her de-stressing. She's got so much anxiety and stress, she's sitting there panting because she has to stay, and stays hard. So now the brain's going, and the panting starts. That'll go away. But that's high levels of anxiety. Good. She's probably naturally prone to being anxious, I would imagine. Already, she kind of probably came out that way, temperamentally. And then on top of that, her in the leader position is, causing this right now. I'm gonna squat down and see what that does. Alright. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Understanding. Her understanding is solid. Her reliability does not feel solid at all. Look, you see that? No, there's a correction there. Good. That's what I wanted to see. Good. Good. So there's some missing elements. Good. Juno. Great. I love that. I love that. She'll also learn she can come to me and I'll keep the other dogs away. But I'm going to add some more dogs in here. That was a big deal. So that was a big deal because even though that was really simple stuff we did there and it was real basic, it was her first time under my leadership. Look how close she is to me now. Look at how she's sitting with her leg up like that. This is her feeling comfortable with me. So maybe not comfortable in her position as follower yet because it's new to her, but I think she's starting to say, okay, I feel comfortable with this guy. So we went from stranger danger to in the same pack to leading the pack, right? And now there's more to do. We're not done. This is a dog who needs rehab. That's why I'm approaching it the way that I am, which is heavy on the relationship because the relationship helps me then. Once I get the proper position and they're listening to me, then I can go through and just say, hey, don't do this, do that. Don't do this, do that. And then they'll listen. None of that's gonna make any difference if I try to tell her that if she doesn't see me as a leader. So relationship for me is going to be the thing that's going to help me tell her how she needs to be behaving towards her human and how she needs to be treating them. She already knows the commands. All right? Good. Now it's how you use those commands to perform as follower in the path. All right? So if something comes into the environment, you see it as follower, you're going to sit to communicate to me that you're doing your job as waiting for me. And dogs will do this without me having to tell them. They're trying to find something to tell me that they're trying to stay and let me assess, right? They'll see the thing and then they'll look at me and give me some type of stay usually. Now she's using that, she'll end up using the sit and the down and the heel to allow me to then take and decide how to deal with the situation. Maybe I want to go turn around, or maybe I want to stay and let the dog go around. They're now listening to me to get through the situation. They're using the training to get through the situation, right? So it's coping skills. That's how she needs to see the commands. Not a battle of me versus her, like this annoying thing. It's like these are skills I'm teaching you to be successful with me out in the human world. Use them. And so this approach, you'll see them using it on their own. There will be times where I would tell them, absolutely, I have to have that ability. But you'll also see them just using it on their own as coping skills to get through the human stuff or whatever situation we're in. You'll see a lot of sits, you'll see a lot of downs, you'll see a dog put themselves in heel just to kind of know that, hey, if I'm doing this, I know that I'm doing the right thing. Good. So she offered to sit there, and that's kind of what I see. And now look at eye contact. Good. Look, eye contact, eye contact. Both these dogs are on me. And I'm talking to you, a camera, so they think I'm nuts probably. They don't care what you're doing. You're the leader now, right? Good. So, another resource. Actually, more dogs, and then a little bit of food stuff. I really want to get to know a dog like this before I put him away, because I'm treating it as rehab for anxiety. I know she's reactive and stuff, but she needs that anxiety worked out. Good. Look at this. I stop what I'm doing, and I let this dog know that she just did something amazing, right? Because around me, which is, if I'm her owner, she's always going to be around me. If you just lay down, if we're not doing something, you just lay down, that's probably the right thing to do. Right? Going and getting into stuff is never the right thing to do. But going and checking out what's in this room and that room, that's all going to get you corrected. Around me, with my pack, they don't leave the room unless I tell them to, right? They can't just leave a room and go see what's in another room unless they have permission or unless I train that dog particularly to know that that's their job. My dogs know that if you're in this room with me, you're in this room with me. If something enters this room, I get to go up to it. Meaning, if a person comes to the door, I go to it, not you. Okay? And also, I love you and I'm going to feed you and give you a wonderful life. But these are the things I needed for our life to go smoothly. Okay? Good. Look at that. Look at you, huh? You're a good girl. More dog stuff. I want more of that. First thing I'm going to do is recall. Come here, Juno. Good girl. I'm sorry if I'm off camera. But because she was so interested in her, stay. I'm taking the opportunity. Good girl. Is stay. That's good. Alright, she really wants to see these dogs, so I need to be able to claim them. And she's going to give me bull crap that'll come out right now, rather than out in the real world. It is. Sparky. Good. Alright, you see what I did there? That moment that I took advantage of. Now, if she was respectful and stayed over there and didn't go up on them the way she did, I probably wouldn't even have taken that angle. But this is a dance. And what she gives me, I respond to. She gave me the opportunity to claim dogs and say, I'm going up on them first. See, this could be people on a path and we're walking. This is the same mechanism here that she's using within our relationship to stay respectful is going to be operating when we're out in the real world walking and we see a dog. All right? I get to decide how we deal with it. So if you start barking, I'm not necessarily correcting you just for barking. I'm correcting you for making a decision moving forward towards this dog. Whether it's pulling, barking, whining, cartwheel, it doesn't matter. It's my choice. You see, you have to keep that like that, because they are. They're looking at it like that. They're looking at it, if they can wiggle you a little bit and say, we're going to go this way a little bit, they're going to think they don't have to listen to you. And that's just how it is with dogs that are a little bit more difficult, which I classify her. If you're struggling like this for years, typically it's because they're more difficult. And hers comes from anxiety. Anxiety from being insecure from leading, really. Because if she's listening, if she sees you as like somebody who can actually take care of the situation, she trusts you and she's like, oh, this guy will totally take care of it, she's chill. She'll be chill. She feels like she needs to worry, that's when we're going to start to see, you know, the overreactions. Instead of just a little gruff, it's going to be, yeah, it's overreacting, all right? Because she's insecure and she's not meant to be the leader, okay? She's doing a bad job at it, we'll say. Good. But just lay down here and look at me. Just lay down and just look at me, the orientation of her. It's not a coincidence that that's when I'm petting her. I'm not petting her for free. It's coming when she's giving me submission. You'll notice that. So that brain, I'm actually talking to her brain. I'm actually rewiring her response to me and to humans because she already has a pattern of what she does. Bark, 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 if it's danger, right? And then probably like, I don't know what she does when she's friendly yet. She probably, does she jump, Jules?
I'm sure she does.
Something probably inappropriate. Good. So I'm touching her and stuff cool good, just so she knows she's safe with me. She's not a big fan of the paws being pat. No, I just realized that she was pulling away when I was touching that paw a little bit. It's very typical, but it's a good thing to test. Yeah. And listen, you can get nabbed just by touching. If I tried to touch her feet while she was still in that mode of me being a stranger, I probably would have got nabbed. But now she's seeing me as a pack member and also leader of the pack, so now my influence of her feeling safe with me but also respecting me allows me to do things with her that she probably won't let other people, maybe nails or tell her to walk here instead of here, right? So that's one of the secret sauces, I guess, one of the secret ingredients in getting a dog from A to B in this program is going to be the relationship to the leader, which is me to start with, but then turns into Julie as well, and then turns into the owner, right? So it's just, I am just the position, right? It can be another human. So we transfer this over to Julie, who then transfers it over to the owners, and that's just the position, right? She's learning how to be in a different position. She was in my position at home, in her own head, right? Who's here? Who's here? And then she's going to check it out. She's barking, right? And then if I'm the owner of the house and I say be quiet and they don't, uh-oh, right? Well, actually not even uh-oh, because that's actually good news. Because it's easy conversation to have. It's like knock, knock, they bark, I say don't bark, they keep barking. Now we're going to correct and start talking about my leadership and how you need to follow it better. Okay, and we can stop talking about it as soon as you're back in line, and then we can move on. So then, the next few days to a week, I'm going to really be setting you guys up and seeing how your behavior is. Good. So she's like really peered out that door, being respectful, but notice the body language on these dogs and her. She's being relaxed, but even for her, she's so anxious. That's a large movement, right? That neck went way over like this to see what's going on over there, right? These are tells from me. I'm reading that and saying, okay, not great. That right there is great. So whenever I see a green flag right there, look, she's giving me a lot of good stuff too. So, equally as much good stuff as the bad stuff. And the bad stuff just being stuff that's going to get her life to be less enjoyable, and everybody around her's life to be less enjoyable. That's the bad stuff. That's the stuff that we want to make sure the dog is leaving behind. Barking and reacting and being stressed like that. Juno. Break. She was being dominant in her body language. So, same with Izzy. A little dominant with the body language. Still social but dominant. That's what I'm seeing. And that dominance that she's displaying to each and every dog is the same thing that she's probably using in her relationship towards you to maintain her position. Meaning when she's not listening, or when she's giving you a hard time, or when she's being territorial and being reactive, it's from a dominant space, but it's an insecure dominant. It's different than a dog who's well-trained, confident, and dominant. They will not overreact. And if you tell them the situation's safe, they'll listen to you. So it's an insecure dominant. So she overreacts, and that becomes the norm. And that'll drive you nuts real quick. Not terrible, I mean, not the worst thing I've ever seen, you know? Like, lots of potential I'm seeing, so. Good girl. All right, come on, Juno. Recall. See if she'll listen. All right, she's hesitating to come in. Good girl. Good girl. All right. So, to me, that little sniff of the door frame there was her buying a little bit of time to decide whether or not it was worth her trying to maybe not listen and do something else. But then she's already been through training somewhere else, so she's probably saying, let me wait a little longer to find my proper gaps to then try to make a bolt for it, or whatever is on her mind. I don't know exactly what she's thinking, but I have been doing this long enough to see that she thought about doing something other than coming to me, which is probably running in the other direction, or pretending like she doesn't hear me. She thought against it though, I did not have to correct. These are just, for me, day one, I get to see all these things to know what I'm in for. Alright, and I can tell with her, it's just gonna be less of teaching her the commands, because I think she knows them all. I haven't ran through them all, but I'm pretty sure she knows them all. Give me more about my expectation of those commands. So I have to tell her, what you think you know about this command, I'm going to add and maybe even change some things about it. My expectation might be different than what you're used to. So even though you know these things, you're gonna have to pay attention, because I'm gonna be explaining what I want out of the sit. What it means when I say heel, right? Stay.
That's a really good dog.
Juno.
Break. Yeah, girl. Honey, that was wonderful.
Good girl. So again, she is dominant, but she is social. So there will be dogs that will be, which is, to me, good, meaning she has pack drive. She wants to be at the top of that pack, but she has pack drive, meaning she does want to be in a pack. There are dogs that don't care about for your pack or all the dogs' pack. They're dominant, but they're antisocial. And that would be a little bit more work for me to figure that dog out, to say, okay, what are we looking for with this dog? Are we trying to get him social? Are we trying to just make sure he's successful? She is social. She will approach the dog, she likes the interaction, but she does it from a dominant position. You can see it, she stops herself. Bad thought, I seen it coming, she stops herself, because she knows what? The cop's driving behind her. That's all it is. But she still had the thought of whatever it is. It might be to hump. I'm imagining, I don't think it is to harm Sparky. I don't think it so far. I would think it would be to dominate in some way. I could be wrong though. Good, she's looking at me heavily. So I'll crack Sparky real quick. Good girl. Sparky knows what to do. Good girl. That's better, isn't it? You want her to stop moving, huh? Yeah. So Sparky, or any dog, when they move like that freely around the room, the energy raises, you know? Try to relax in the room and have a dog just click-clack around, you know? It's like lay down, right? Eventually a dog like this, she's 3, she's gonna start thinking the same thing. Stop moving. Stop doing this. And you might think the fight comes out of nowhere, but it's just like the same reason I just corrected Sparky, because I don't want the noise, I want to chill right now and talk. A dog will do the same thing. A dog who sees himself in that position. Alright? Good. But instead, she let me do it. She sees me, and look at that guy with that tail. She's like, alright, this guy gets it. And I'm letting her know, oh yeah, I do. You're going to like me, because I'm not going to let anybody mess with you. Okay? Life's going to be good. You don't have to correct the dogs. I will. I'm not going to let but you just make sure you look at me and come to me, and you don't try to fight, or you don't try to do any of that. because then you're in trouble. So it's fair. And the reason why it's successful at the end of the day is because the dogs get more freedom and a better life, which they find out towards the end. They're on hikes and they're doing all of a sudden life got pretty cool. When you're following a human, right? And you're listening, life's good, less stress. Doesn't mean, and then when you keep that maintenance by correcting when they don't listen. You have to keep it. If we start slipping and missing corrections and not doing it properly, then dogs are gonna go right back to trying to lead. Because guess what? Unfortunately, that's pretty fun too. It's fun to go live in Never Never Land and eat cake for every meal, right? And never grow up. That's fun too. Even though it'll kill you quicker, it's still got its perks. So, will she try to go right back up to leadership at one point? She might make an attempt. It won't happen if you correct them, and they'll stop once they realize that you're going to hold them accountable. So, if she goes out this door, that's going to be a mistake. Good girl. That's a good girl. That's a really big mistake. Okay. I'm surprised because she's been through a program and everything. She knows she's kind of in that mode. She kind of fell out of that mode. I think because part of my style is very affectionate. I do a lot of petting and a lot of baby talking. And I think that can get them to make them think that I'm done training or like it reminds them of their owner. And like, oh, I don't have to listen. It makes them think I'm weak, I think. But I like to do it because one, everybody's going to do it anyway. And you can show them that doesn't mean that you're weak. You can actually change how they feel about people baby talking them. It doesn't necessarily mean that person isn't to listen to. But it just normally means that. But look at the good girl. And I love it, I love it, I love it. This girl is good. I'm always looking at the body orientation. I don't like, good. I don't like when they go away from me like this, right? She's still trying to be independent to some degree. That was the target. Just stay. It's okay, you can just stay. And then I'm gonna pet that. Look at that beautiful dog. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's so good. That's so nice. So I got that mistake of walking out the door. I knew it was on her mind when I opened it the first time. She didn't make a mistake the first time though. Good girl. So this is a dog who has two different modes. They have, the only way, let me tell you how I can relate to it and maybe it'll help you. I had two different modes too when I was a kid. I had daddy's not home and daddy's home. I remember this. I swear to God, this is just how it was for me and my siblings. If daddy wasn't home for an extended period of time, it was going to be fun and dangerous, but fun. As soon as that truck pulled in, I changed, and so did my siblings. And so, the same thing when I got to my adulthood, if there was a cop or somebody of a higher position in society, a teacher, I would change around them to allow them to lead me if I didn't want to get in trouble. And then when I was amongst my friends, if I was amongst the right company, I would go into kind of just like a fool, just having a good time, being disrespectful maybe, but just having a good time. She has those two modes too. The problem is that we're not, the owners currently probably are more hanging out with the buddies and having a good time, acting a fool, versus, oh, there's a cop behind us or an authority figure in the room. The sacrifice to having control is to make sure that in my relationship they see me as authority first, and then goofy, friendly, fun second. Because I do like to have fun and be goofy with my dogs. But in order to maintain control, I have to put that aside and become the authority figure first. When that's needed, that comes first. The reward is when everybody is under control and doing good, I like to be goofy too and have a good time, right? But I'm going to prioritize control first because that's my job as leader of the household here, of the pack, to keep everything running smoothly and safer. It is so much safer. Good. So look at what's happening around me right now. All these dogs are just looking at me holding still. That's what will happen when they let you make the choice of how we're doing things. and they let you lead. Okay? Good. Break. Good. I like it. I'm happy. I think you did good girl. Nice work. Yeah, she was a nice girl. Do you like food? You guys hungry, right? You hungry? I know you're hungry. Okay, another thing is the food. There's a lot to go through, but it's worth it for me because it makes my job easier. Look at this excitement gets corrected in the pack. They're not doing that. But I'm gonna let it play out because I need to do this like the ritual. That it is. Which is I put food down, anyone that goes near it is getting corrected. Because it's my food. Okay? Alright. So when I first brought this up, when I got up here, and I did this, and she did the ballerina dances, and up on her feet and jumping up like that, that's going to get corrected if she lives with me. Because that's around a resource, we don't express like that. In the wild, if these guys were a part of a pack and they were hungry, each one of them are hungry, and there's a little bit of resource here, a little bit of food. If you go frolicking around the food that one of these dogs is eating like that, or that they've claimed, it's not going to be friendly conversation, okay? So in reality, that's bubble behavior right there. She's living in a nice bubble at home, so she can go, food. Real world, that's not how it goes. Real world is like, here's my food, and make sure nobody's going to steal it, right? And I better not steal somebody else's food unless I want to fight for it. So this a lot of her anxiety and stuff, she kind of has this bubble thing going on, where she's, living in a nice, maybe a living room and a backyard, and she's the king of that castle, but as soon as that bubble's popped and she's in the real world, she doesn't hold up. It's dangerous for her to be in the real world right now. Look at how she's behaving around these dogs. This is good, but this is because of the work I'm doing. Her initial behavior would get her attacked by another dog. If these dogs weren't under my control and they had different temperaments other than Reagan's, and they were a little bit more firm, that little stuff that she did is not going to fly. All right. I had the urge to correct her, but I held it because I didn't want to correct that. I want her to make big mistakes first in my program, and then I'll talk about small mistakes. I want to get those big mistakes out. So if she's going to come over to this food and just put her mouth down here, I'd rather her do that and talk about that first. Which is not so fun. I needed that moment, so that's why I slid it, because I wanted her to make a mistake. Just so she could feel that I would correct and that I'm serious. And I more so, honestly, to see how she responded to me correcting her. That was a good response. It wasn't perfect because of this lack of commitment here, this kind of like half up and half down. Classic lack of commitment. They're not committed to the down or the holding still or the going to the resource. They're in the middle. So that's what I corrected. Look, I corrected. She laid down all the way. That means she committed to staying. Her body language tells me that. That's called follow through. If you rewatch that, I corrected her for going towards the food. She let the food be, which is a good response, because some dog will bite you for that, right? You correct them, they'll correct you back. And then you got to go through that. She didn't do that. She took the correction, and then she put herself in a half down. I noticed that she wasn't fully submissive towards my direction, which was stay there and leave it. So then I came back and started giving her social pressure, saying, what's up, right? And then she said, oh, nothing, and laid down. And then I go, that's follow through. So we don't just correct and then walk away. We correct and then calm our dog's brain, no matter what the situation is. So I give the dog a correction, and they get elevated from the correction. We're going to correct again, and we're going to use social body language, like she knows. You can see these dogs understand. If you know how to kind of do a little bit of dog whispering, you can explain with your body to tell the dog relax. They'll do it to each other, and we can do it to them. And then they relax, and then we leave them alone. Go ahead. Don't do the thing you just did again. Otherwise, we're going to go through that again, but go ahead. I follow through to get a calm mind before I let them free. Another good example of that because it was so hard to see. Most people probably wouldn't correct that half down like that, right? Because at least she's not touching the food. But I'm talking to her about respect. Like these guys are giving me respect, and they're not stressed at all. Okay, her stress has gone down a lot though. There's still a little bit there, but in the beginning she was much more. I think she's more comfortable now. Now what I'm going to do is feed the chickens and see how she behaves socially when there's food on the ground. This is not necessarily the safest protocol, but it cuts right to the chase to let me know a dog's intentions around resources, around other dogs, and pack members in general. Alright, so we're gonna break. Good. And we're just gonna close it. What I get to see here is she gonna argue with somebody over the kibble? Or is she gonna let them have it? Where's she at? And this cuts right to the chase because if she's gonna be, dominant over the food around them, but she is a little bit there, isn't she? She's holding her ground. Yeah, so. I know everything I need to know about her once I see her in these situations. She's expecting special treatment over here from me. She must know how to use charm, which is another skill that they learn to, they use it on each other, but they definitely use it on humans. Charm is they try to kind of get things out of you, soften you, get resources out of you through being charming, and also to get out of punishment by being charming. So if you go to correct your dog and you notice them being like extra charming, it's a skill that they've picked up because they're so smart to actually lower the punishment or even get out of it altogether. Same with getting pulled over, and if you cry and you're cute enough, you might get out of the ticket. Well, guess what? They picked up the same skill trick. So look out for that. And don't allow yourself to be manipulated. You can correct that and say, carry on. All right? You see what happened here? You see how she chose that sit? I was talking about that earlier in the video. Good. She knew that she needed to convey to me that she was either going to go after my resource or she was saying, I'm not going after resource. And I said, good. She used that sit, which she already knew before she came, but she was not using it like this. Not for me, at least. Now she's using that command to get through a social situation where there's potential conflict. Conflict meaning me saying, don't do that, and her wanting to do it, or vice versa. So, what she do? She said, she's trying to say, I'm listening. And I said, good, that mentality is the answer. That's literally the only thing you're doing wrong is thinking slightly off. You're thinking you get to decide when it's me, or whoever's leading. That's the big downfall in your thinking in your belief system. See that? See those head shakes? Those were thoughts of going towards it, but she's kept herself there. Good. Right? Go back, rewind it a couple seconds. Notice nobody else reacted like this. That's not nothing. That's a micro, we can read into that. If she wasn't under my influence so much, she would have went right in there. They were drawn right to the thing. So if something comes in the environment, it's just right to it. That's what a reactive dog does. She's described as being reactive. What is reactivity? People are going to think classically it's a dog barking at stuff, but really it's just a dog reacting at something. Obviously we all react to stuff, but usually in an intense and disruptive manner. So yes, dog sees a person, bark, 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 they're reactive towards people. If they're doing that consistently every day towards every person, yes. They see a dog on the walk, they're reactive. But they could be not barking, they could just do, every time they see a dog, just do one spin. Or just do a bunch of spins, right? And it's like, that's still a reactive dog. It's not just about barking. It's about the fact that they see something in the environment and they start interacting with it. Or wanting to interact with it, and I'm on a leash, so I'm frustrated. Right? You understand? So that's, you correct that because they're trying to respond. I put food down on the ground. Her first thing is, let me go towards the food. Stops herself, puts herself in a sit. That's the change I'm looking for. I open up this counter. She wants to go towards it, even bobs her head thinking about it, keeps herself in a sit, eventually putting herself in a down. That's the right answer. If we're on a walk and she sees a dog, instead of barking, I'm going to put myself in heel. That's the right answer. You see what's happening? What's the glue? What's holding it all together? Me, right? Because I'm correcting appropriately and describing to her clearly what I want from her. And I'm using my rewards appropriately too. They're not free. They're when you're doing things I like. Okay? I want you to want to please me. And I can do that. I can make your brain want to do that. Right? By certain experiences in a row. We'll have enough where she sees me as a valid leader. And all of a sudden all the good stuff are there. She listens. Okay? Grace, ow. Ow. Oh my goodness. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Very good. No, no. Reagan get corrected now. And she gets to see Reagan's get corrected. These are all good things. Glance at the kennel. See, I'm seeing all these things. Glance at the kennel. Want, that's motivation. She showed me her hand. We're playing poker. What does she want? She wants to go in the kennel. So now I know that, so what can I do with that? I can do a lot with that. I can let her go in, or I can tell her to go over there, which is the opposite direction of where she wants to go. You see, there's plenty of avenues I can take to make sure that she's not going to give me a hard time. So now I'm ahead of her. Instead of me playing keep up, all she's reacting and I'm behind her trying to clean up the mess, she's trying to keep up with me. Now, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Because I'm ready to correct anything. Okay? So she lays down. She lays down, meaning do nothing because I haven't told you to do anything. Right answer. Always probably will be the right answer. Good. So you see, it's not so magical, right? It's easy to understand. This is how we're getting it. This is why they'll act good without having to talk to them constantly. You'll see that the dogs in our videos usually are just doing the right thing naturally with very little back and forth. I'm not like da 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 the whole time. It's just they know what to do. If I'm standing here talking to somebody, chill. What's chill look like? Sit her down. Right? If I tell you to get on the place bed, don't get off from it until I tell you to. If we're walking and I got that little necklace on, aka the leash, stay right here and just chill. I need to lead. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot to explain that. It takes most of it for them to actually want to see, they see you as leader. That's what it is. You correcting and directing is what's going to get you to be leader. If you do it like how I'm doing here. Good. Juno. Right. Yeah. So she wants to go in the kennel. Cool. I like that. She probably wants to rest and not be communicated with for a little while. Good girl. Good girl, honey. Success. Lots were done. Just the tip of the iceberg. She sees me as friendly. She's wagging her tail. She's happy to see me, but she respects me. Now I have a nice influence over her to then go through the day-to-day with her to say, okay, where are we having the trouble? Honey, don't do this, do that. Honey, don't do this, do that. And she'll actually make the change. All right. Good girl. That's a good one. You get your tools off for this sweetheart. That's it. Yeah, stay. She wants to come out now, but I told her to stay. You see, this is how we do it, though. I need to make sure she's going to be reliable. I want to see something. I want to see her step out or sit down, right? I want to see her make a commitment now. I told you to stay, now commit to one. Commit to either your idea, which is coming out, or commit to my idea, which, you know, show me, sit or something. If not, I'm gonna liven up the environment to see if there's a mistake in there. Because this is what needs to be done. If I want to get ahead of her, I can see a mistake coming from a mile away and use it as a learning lesson. And if I live like that for a week or two, we can rehab it. I'm gonna need more like 3, you know, but you know, they do start to change at that 2-week mark. And that last week is just really tightening things up and making them really solid. But big changes happen in week 1 and week 2. See, look, she's holding herself back. But the fact that she has to hold herself back means that It's not easy for her, which means it's not going to be easy for us. Alright? She's doing her best, and it's so hard for her. And if this is basic stuff. Basic puppy stuff, it's just like, stay, right? It is basic stuff. So, she knows what we're saying, not practice that we need to follow. She's looking at me because she's like, he'll release me. He'll let me know when it's time to go have fun, right? Which I will. She won't look like this at the end of week 2. There'll be much more of a less anticipating. She's anticipating what's coming next. Very much common for a reactive dog to try to think like, oh, here's this and then this and then this. She's gonna be chill. Look at this here. Is it so chill? It used to be like that, by the way. This little girl here. She's just doing this and chilling. That's a state of mind that we're gonna be seeing a lot more out of her. And every time she does that, I'm gonna be saying you're awesome, and she'll make that her default. This and waiting is actually stress, mild, yes, but it is stress. Anticipatory anxiety, anticipating what's coming next. That will fade. All right, it's just classic sign of an anxious dog. Smart too, yeah, smart, because smart dogs. A lot of my most anxious dogs are the smartest dogs. You know. I don't know. Some of the dogs that aren't as smart seem to be a little bit more simple and maybe kind of like less anxiety, just kind of like easier going. So I don't know if smart dogs see more opportunities and a lot more is running through their brain or whatever it is, but yeah, a lot of the dogs that I have that have a lot of anxiety are very smart, above average. Probably the same way with people. If you get too smart, I think stress comes with that. I think anxiety comes with that. But this is good. This is good. She knows what to do. And she's doing good. I'm going to let her out. Juno. Great. Good girl. That's really nice. Honey girl. Look at you.
Are you the nice girl? Yes, you are, sweetheart. I know you are. I know you are. Yes, you are.
All this stuff. She's suppressing some stuff. I don't know what it is she normally wants to do. I think a little bit more energy. She's keeping herself from doing it, which is cool. It's mature of her to do that. But what you see at home is probably much worse than I'm seeing on Imagine. Good. She already went through the training program, so it does make it a little harder for me to see an authentic response. If she hadn't went through a training program, I'd see a little bit more of an authentic response, but she knows where she's at. She's like, oh, when I go to the dentist, I know I'm at the dentist, even if it's a different building, you know? She's like, oh, I'm at one of those places. She can just tell. Even though this is my house, she already knows. Probably just because of how we're behaving maybe. Alright, well, look, there's a lot of dominance towards this. You see all this stuff. None of that is friendly conversation. I hope you can see this. I mean, Izzy's trying to be soft with her and like casual and like soften the vibe a little bit. It's working a little bit, but her initial thing is very, you know, serious. Maybe when she gets to know them, she'll let her guard down and be goofier. Because I see a goofier side in here somewhere. I definitely see that she feels like she's got some quirkiness in there. Playfulness still, maybe even. So now it's time. Break.